As he's grabbing the bag, shots are fired.
Who shoots the shots that are fired?
Michael Boatwright.
One of the 4 men convicted in the 2018 murder of XXXTentacion was released from prison in October 2023 after taking a plea deal and testifying against his co-defendants. Before and during his release, he gave police, prosecutors, and a jury the most complete account anyone from inside that Dodge journey has ever provided. Here's what Robert Allen said and what it cost everyone involved. The robbery. On June 18, 2018, Yase Dwayne Ricardo Enroy, the rapper known as XXXTen, withdrew approximately $50,000 in cash from a Bank of America branch in South Florida. He put the money in a Louis Vuitton bag. Then he drove to Riva Motorsports, a motorcycle and watercraft dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida. His step-uncle, Leonard Kerr, was in the passenger seat of his black BMW i8. Enroy was 20 years old. He was looking at motorcycles. He did not come back. Earlier that year, Enroy had been making headlines both for his music and for the legal proceedings that surrounded him. His debut album had just dropped. His fan base was following his every move online. He was the kind of person whose car model you could identify from an Instagram post, whose daily movements were public enough that a man at a probation office months earlier had recognized him and filed the memory away for later. At that same time, 4 men from Fort Lauderdale were in a rented black Dodge Journey SUV. They had been driving around South Florida with guns, masks, and a plan to rob whoever they could find. The 4 were Dedrick DaVinci Williams, Michael Sherrill Boatwright, Trayvon DeMarcus Newsom, and Robert Allen. Williams was 22, Boatwright was 22, Allen was 22. Newsom was the youngest, 20, the same age as the man they were about to kill. Williams was the one they called Chucky. He had prior arrests for grand theft, auto, burglary, assault, and cocaine possession. He was on probation at the time and worked as a tattoo artist. He had 4 children. He was also the one driving the SUV that—
Tell us about that. Whose idea was it to rent the vehicle? You have to speak up nice and loud.
as Allen would later testify, was general and unstructured. Drive around and rob someone with Hoobers or anyone they spotted. They had not set out that morning to find XXXTentacion. They had set out to find anyone.
At any point, all 4 of you expect to be armed with a firearm?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the purpose of having a mask or masks, plural?
Had a Springfield .40 caliber handgun. Newsom had a Smith & Wesson .38 revolver. Williams had his own .38 revolver, one with a distinctive hammer, bow, and trigger. Boatwright had a .22 caliber short-barreled rifle. When the Dodge Journey pulled up on Dixie Highway and Williams spotted the BMW, the decision to rob Enroy was not stated out loud. It didn't need to be. Williams told Allen and Newsom to go inside and confirm the identity. Boatwright and Newsom told Allen to go in with Williams to hear it from him directly. Allen went in.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, all 3 of them.
On row. Newsom came around to the same side, grabbing at Enroy's gold chain. He couldn't get it off, then ran around the car to the passenger side and entered the BMW. He grabbed the Louis Vuitton bag containing the $50,000. Kerr in the passenger seat was ordered to stay put. He ran instead down the road away from the car. He survived. Newsom came back with the bag. The robbery was complete.
What did Newsom do after he grabs the bag?
Entered Onfroy's neck. 2 bullets remained inside his body, 1 fragmented. The gunshots clipped the upper lobe of his left lung and grazed his aorta. Onfroy was unarmed. He had not reached for anything. The bag was already gone when the shots were fired. He was pronounced dead.
As he's grabbing the bag, shots are fired.
Who shoots the shots that are fired?
Michael Boatwright.
Where does he shoot him from? What side of the car?
Driver.
So if XXX is in the driver's seat and Michael Boatwright is in the driver's side, the shots are coming onto Triple X's left side or right side? Which side?
Yes.
Williams, Boatwright, and Newsom each took $15,000. Allen, who had stayed in the car, received $5,000. Boatwright argued Allen hadn't participated enough to deserve an equal share. The guns left with Boatwright and Newsom, the Louis Vuitton bag, the bank slips, the key fob to Enroy's car, all of it left with them. On the drive back from Riva, they had learned via their phones.
Okay, so what was in the bag?
Money.
How much?
Phones captured what came next. Cell phone videos posted to social media showed Williams, Boatwright, and Newsom fanning stacks of $100 bills, dancing and smiling. Hours after the shooting, Dedrick Williams was arrested 48 hours later during a traffic stop in Pompano Beach. He was wearing orange sandals and a white tank top, the same outfit visible in the Riva security footage and in his own Instagram post from the day. He had not changed his clothes. He had not taken down his posts. Boatwright was arrested July 5th on separate drug charges. The murder warrant was served to him in jail 5 days later on July 10th. Allen was arrested in Georgia on July 26th, more than a month after the crime. He had traveled there with Boatwright before the two split off in separate directions. Trayvon Newsom turned himself in at his attorney's office on August 7th. He was the last of the four to be taken into custody. All four were charged with first-degree premeditated murder and armed robbery with a firearm. They were indicted by a grand jury in July 2018. The case was on camera from the moment Williams walked into the dealership to the moment the SUV disappeared down the road. Detectives had the group buying masks, they had them waiting in the lot, they had the ambush, they had the getaway. What they needed, the inside story of who decided what, who said what, and why a robbery that was already over still ended with a 20-year-old shot dead in his seat, was going to come from someone inside the car. That person was Robert Allen. The testimony. Robert Allen was on paper the least violent figure in that Dodge journey. He had stayed in the car. He had taken the smaller share of the money. He had even said out loud before the robbery happened that it was a bad idea. But he had also confirmed Onfroy's identity inside the store, helped plan the logistics of the vehicle rental, taken the $5,000, and said nothing to police for weeks. None of that made him innocent, and the prosecutors knew it. What it made him was useful, because the story he could tell, if he told it fully and truthfully, was exactly the kind of story that could seal 3 first-degree murder convictions. Getting him to tell it fully and truthfully was the work of a detective named John Curcio, who went by Cirque, and an interrogation room in Broward County that Allen would later describe as making...
Easiest way to start talking about the case you're under arrest for, which is XXX's case. Let's talk about the car, the Dodge.
Everybody was not in shock. Besides Chucky, he was not in shock. That's what I said. Chucky wasn't in shock. He didn't really care.
The next half hour is a slow excavation. Allen hedges at first, using "I think" and "I guess" when asked for specifics. Curcio calls him on it repeatedly. He points out that small lies make the big things hard to believe. He tells Allen that fingerprints are already on the car, that camera footage already puts him inside the Driftwood apartment complex getting into the journey, that Chucky Williams has already told a version of events. Bit by bit, Allen starts filling in the picture. He describes how Williams organized the rental, how Tony Robinson's name went on the app because the others couldn't. He describes arriving at Chucky's house.
What kind of gun did Boatwright have?
Something like small, real small.
Okay, well, like that, like a rifle or a handgun?
Right.
Weapons. He places the guns at Chucky's house. He confirms who had what. He describes the moment in the parking lot when Williams said to Rob Roy of his jewelry, bracelets, necklaces, rings.
Okay, what happens is when they see him?
Chucky cuts him off.
Okay, so you guys had to talk about something.
It was basically me talking to him. I was just, I'm gonna go to jail for the rest of my life. They're like, You'll be all right. It's not gonna happen.
Investigation gave investigators the bones of a confession. The plea deal, nearly 4 years later, would require Allen to give them the flesh. On August 12, 2022, Allen pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and armed robbery with a firearm. The first-degree premeditated murder charge, the one carrying mandatory life, was dropped in exchange for his full cooperation and testimony at the trial of Williams, Boatwright, and Newsom. Allen understood the terms clearly. He would get to go home one day, the others would not. The joint trial opened on February 7, 2023 in Broward County Circuit Court before Judge Michael A. Usen. Allen took the stand on February 8 and remained there through February 13, 4 days of testimony. He gave prosecutors the frame that the surveillance footage by itself could not provide. The cameras had shown 2 masked figures near a car. Allen could tell the jury whose faces were behind those masks. He described the planning in the car, the decision to wait, the way Williams had directed the whole operation from the driver's seat. He described Boatwright and Newsom arming themselves, the move to block the BMW, the speed with which Boatwright and Newsom got out. That was the prosecution's framing and opening statements. Allen's testimony was built to confirm it detail by detail. Boatwright at the driver's side window with the rifle, Newsom going for the chain and then the bag, Newsom returning to the SUV, the bag secured, and then the shots fired without any provocation whatsoever. Allen said directly, as he's grabbing the bag, shots are fired. He named Michael Boatwright as the shooter. He said Boatwright fired 2 or 3 times. He said Diedrich was on the left side of the vehicle. He said the whole confrontation lasted approximately 3 minutes. He testified that on the drive away from Riva, the group learned Enfroy had died. Boatwright turned the music up. Defense attorneys spent days dismantling him. They called him a 12-time felon. They called him a career liar motivated by self-preservation. They accused him of altering his story between the 2018 interrogation and the 2023 trial to match what prosecutors needed. The attorney for Boatwright was particularly aggressive, pressing Allen on every inconsistency, every hedge, every "I think" and "I guess" from years earlier. Allen did not collapse. He admitted he wanted a lighter sentence. He admitted he was not a reliable person by any standard measure. But he also said this: "Well, I definitely would like to get a lighter sentence, yes, but I definitely have remorse. I mean, I sit and look at the stand and see people crying, and I'm trying to do my best to get Enroy's family and friends and his fans justice." The defense also had to contend with the fact that every specific thing Allen said could be checked against physical evidence, and it matched. DNA extracted from the black neoprene masks purchased inside Riva and used during the robbery matched Dedrick Williams with a statistical probability rarer than 1 in 831 octillion. Boatwright's DNA on a second mass produced odds rarer than 1 in 929 nonillion. These by forensic analyst Nicole Anat of the Broward County Crime Lab. Boatwright's phone had pinged at Riva at the exact time of the shooting. It had Bluetoothed paired with the rented Dodge Journey. A box of .22 caliber bullets recovered from Boatwright's home was missing exactly 4 rounds, the same count as the shots fired at Enroy. A separate .22 caliber bullet was found at Williams' home. Boatwright's fingerprints were recovered from the exterior driver's door of Enroy's BMW. Boatwright's phone also showed he had searched both XXXTentacion and Accessory to Murder in the aftermath of the shooting. Williams' then-girlfriend, Taryn L. Carter, testified independently. She told the jury that Williams had confessed to her that he had orchestrated the robbery and murder, and that he had then tried to get her to sign a false affidavit claiming he was not the getaway driver. She refused. Meanwhile, in the holding cells during the trial, a Broward sheriff's deputy observed Trayvon Newsom yelling at Allen during transport, calling him a police, a sellout, and accusing him of working with the white man. Allen testified about the intimidation attempt. It became one of the trial's most discussed moments. Defense teams tried to introduce a conspiracy theory involving rapper Drake, pointing to a years-old public feud between Drake and Enroy as a potential alternate motive. Investigators and witnesses dismissed it entirely.